Hi, this is Eric with Smarter Water, and today we're going to walk through the installation video for the 5 and 6 stage whole house water filtration system. Let's take a moment to review all of the parts included in your installation kit. Here we have the filter housing, the sediment filter insert, a spinner wrench, two 1-inch male adapters, Teflon tape for the adapters, a mounting bracket with screws, a bypass valve, two elbow adapters with seal rings, two 1-inch flexible connectors, and a garden hose adapter. Step 1. Let's unscrew the filter housing. You can use the spinner wrench for grip to help take off the lid. Now grab the seal ring and apply the grease to the ring. Make sure to evenly distribute the grease before placing it into the groove. Now firmly push the ring into the groove to ensure a proper seal. You can now grab your filter and place it inside of the filter housing. Again, using the spinner wrench, you can now screw the lid back on and get ready for the next step. As you can see, there's two flow connections at the top. Let's grab those two male adapters and apply the Teflon tape to each set of threads. I found the easiest way to do this is by holding the tape in one hand and rolling the adapter towards me until all the threads are covered. Then, simply rip the tape and move on to the next thread. Once you've taped both adapters, you can now screw them into both sides of the filter housing. Make sure to firmly screw each adapter into the connection to ensure a strong seal. You need to use a wrench at the end to ensure the adapter is completely screwed in. Now take the mounting bracket and place it on top of the filter housing. Line up the holes and place a washer and screw in each hole. I am adding all 4 screws to hold it in place before using a socket wrench to do the rest of the work. Do not use a power tool for this step, as you may over-tighten and strip the threads. Make sure each screw is tightly in place. For the next step, we are using a stud finder to locate the exact mounting point. The filter does have some weight, so we want to make sure the mount is secure. Now we're going to drill the first hole and use the first screw. Leave a little wiggle room so you can adjust the positioning with a level. You want to make sure the mount is straight so the filter works properly. Once you've leveled the mount, mark your holes and pre-drill for the next screws. If you encounter an area with no stud, use a drywall anchor before drilling in the screw. Make sure that the drywall anchor is properly fitted for the screws you are using. Once the anchors are set, you can move the mounting bracket back into place and finish drilling in the screws. It is recommended that at least 2 of these screws are drilled into studs, otherwise your mount may not be secure. Now let's move on to the tank assembly. First, we need to piece together the elbow adapters. Put the black cap on the end, then slide the white ring down the connection until it sits flush at the bottom of the threads. Lastly, put the black seal ring in the groove at the end of the threads. Do this for both of the elbow adapters. Once they're pieced together, it's time to build the tank valve. Grab the bypass valve and screw it into the tank connections. Make sure both connections are tight. Once attached, grab the 2 elbow adapters we just put together and screw them into the bypass valve. Now here you need to pay attention. Take a look at the upflow and downflow inlets on the valve. Turn both of the red caps in opposite directions, then pop the caps off, flip them around, and reattach them onto the valve. This cap should be pointed at the upflow inlet marking, and the other cap pointing away from the downflow inlet marking. Now it's time to flush the system. Grab the garden hose adapter fitting and wrap the threads in Teflon tape to secure the connection. Then screw on the adapter fitting. Next, you need to connect it to the upflow inlet connection. Now it's time to attach a garden hose so you can properly flush the system before completing the installation. Flush the system until you have a clear discharge. Once the tank is flushed, remove the garden hose attachment, and let's move on to installing the system. Take the first flex connector and attach one end to the downflow outlet. Use a wrench to ensure a firm connection. Now take the other end and attach it to the inlet of the post-sediment filter. Again, use a wrench to get a firm connection. The red cap should be pointing outwards, away from the tank. Now take the other flex connector and attach it to the upflow connection on the valve. Use a wrench for a firm attachment. At this point, you would attach the other end to your plumbing system and use an adapter fitting on the sediment filter to complete the outflow. Once connected to your plumbing system, the system is ready for use.